This summer, stream the new series Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I got this. Never mind, I don't got this. Guys!
Catch Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with your family.
I need new butts to kick.
Dude, you shouldn't be so aggro.
Streaming this summer only on Paramount Plus.
So guys, as you can see, we got a brand new trailer drop that we are going to go over and break down for the new series coming this summer, Tales of the TMNT. And I just have to say, right from the jump street, very, very clever work picking that name for this series. For those of you that don't know, Tales of the TMNT was a companion comic that went alongside at two different points in Turtles comics history that just basically told more one-off stories. Some of it had continuity, but this was usually weirder stories or more lighthearted stories, things like that. And with this series acting as basically the bridge point between the first Mutant Mayhem and the second Mutant Mayhem, perfect title, especially because we are going to be getting more episodic storytelling that builds the characters, builds the world, tells the story. So, kicking off, we have more of the same fun, really cool animation style that we got with the first one. And I say that because for a long time, we had the Disney style of animation, and it's just so refreshing to see what's come about since Into the Spider-Verse and really what that introduced into the world of animation that it feels like this is really capitalizing on. I'm such a fan. And that opening shot that clearly nods to the Mirage comics with its style, the pose, the white eyes, the fact that it cuts from black and white into color. We saw something very similar in the Mutant Mayhem movie. And it just, again, like we talked about in the Mutant Mayhem movie, there's such a love letter that is baked into the stuff that we're getting here to longtime Turtle fans of the comics, different iterations. It's really, you can tell that this is something that was made by longtime Turtles fans that have that experience with everything that has led up to this point that came before. And so a lot of this looks like it's supposed to, or it's doing exactly what it was supposed to do. Expanding the world. It's simply taking what was started with the Mutant Mayhem movie and giving us more of that. And honestly, it looks like the animation quality is right there with the movie. And that is going to be necessary for people to truly appreciate this and stay invested in this world that they did such an amazing job of setting up with that first movie. Kicking into the action of the trailer, number one, we have a fight between a robot and Mikey. And this immediately got me curious. In a previous version of the Turtles in animation, we saw a character named Mechazoid. Now, I don't know for sure because Mechazoid didn't have a 01 on his chest, but this robot certainly, at the very least, is supposed to look like and be, it looks like a nod to Mechazoid, if not the actual character himself. Next, we cut from Mikey over to Leo, where we get a scene where he's still showing the fact that he doesn't have that level of confidence that he would come to be known for, those leadership qualities that he would come to be known for.
I got this. Never mind, I don't got this. Guys!
And it's still that coming of age story with him that we saw started in Mutant Mayhem. And I love that that's the character that's on display here in this quick shot. It's very fast and it's a single line, but it already tells you that you met this version of Leo. We're still working with this version of Leo. From here, we get a series of rapid fire quick cuts that includes a quasi fight scene between Leo and another one of the what looks like team of robots that's spinning Leo over his head while April looks on with something on her head that I think we're going to get more context for at the end of the trailer. But at this point, it's worth mentioning. It looks like there is a through line of robots. And my early call is that this is going to be this series, or at least this season's version of pawns, mini bosses, Foot Clay, and that sort of thing. I think we're either going to get this as they're fighting against robots predominantly, or it's going to be a team, and it's going to be like a series of mini bosses, 4 or 5, something like that, mini bosses that the turtles are going to have to overcome throughout the length of the series. So next up, we have Donnie, and he's holding on for dear life on top of a subway car. And this, guys, is the scene that, again, got me thinking. We have seen so far a series of individual shots of the turtles. We started off together, and we're going through Mikey, Leo, Donnie, and after this is going to be Raph. And it got me thinking about the synopsis that we were given when the show was first announced. This would test the turtles in new ways by making them go it alone. So, guys, I think through a series of situations, along with storytelling, I think we're going to see that now that they're in school, each one kind of wants to have his own identity, and thus we are going to get the turtles separated, and in the midst of being separated, each one is going to have to go through their own situation, their own mini boss, their own confrontation that's going to force them to grow individually and thus grow as a group when they come back together. Finally, we have Raph and a robot which has the number 2 on his chest. We saw number 1, now we get number 2. And again, I really dig how much personality each turtle is being given here. This is very much Raph. You think about Raph, this is what you would think. And I just think that there's so much attention being given to each one of the characters individually that it's really doing a fine job of presenting this as honestly one of the most fleshed out teams in a lot of respects, because so much character work is being done. And I think it would have been easy for them to really phone in an animated Turtles in this way, especially, guys, it's everybody's got their version of the Turtles, yada yada yada. And so this is one that's obviously skewed to a younger demo. And I think that the easy thing would have been for this version of the Turtles to be more phoned in and thus not nearly as deep. And that's really doesn't seem to be what we're getting here. So, closing shot of the trailer, we get the turtles in costumes, probably a costume dance or something like that for school. Again, with the April cameo before, she had something on her head, kind of looked like rabbit ears. My guess, it's within the context of this costume party. Leo's, quick note there, Leo's costume feels like a nod to Turtles in Time, and I'm pretty sure an action figure of Leo as a samurai exists. That might be me making it up, but I definitely feel like I either had or saw that action figure. Guys, all in all, this trailer looks phenomenal. I am stoked, to say the very least. I was already hyped. Guys, you can check out my review of Mutant Mayhem here on the channel, but TLDR is that I loved it. I thought it was amazing, and I thought it did so much for presenting a brand new take on the Turtles, and this really stoke those fires of, man, I want to see this. I will actually be watching this and all of that kind of stuff. We'll be covering it here on the channel. And once we get an update on when this is coming out. We will be dropping that here on the channel. So make sure you stay tuned, hit the bell, hit subscribe. Guys, a fraction, I know it's a song and dance, but only a fraction of the viewers are actually subscribed. So go ahead, subscribe so you don't miss an upload. Until next time, Cowabunga Shellheads.